First, though, we want to get to that breaking news out of Canada. Take a look at this picture. This is video showing a Delta plane upside down on a snowy runway at Toronto International Airport.
We are told that several people on board were hurt here. Let's get straight to Stefan Holt, who has the latest on this unfolding situation. Stefan?
Just stunning, let's say, to see that airplane upside down at Pearson International Airport in Toronto. The airport saying all passengers and crew members have been accounted for. This happened right around 2:45 Eastern time while the plane was landing. This is Delta Flight 4819. It's operated by one of their regional carriers, Endeavour Air. It was coming in from Minneapolis. Somehow that CRJ 900 rolled over. How that happened is still not exactly clear at this point. You could look closely there. The right wing detached from the airplane during the crash. It's also unclear if this happened on the runway or if somehow the airplane left the runway, had an excursion. The plane largely intact. We're hearing people were able to walk out of the aircraft. 76 passengers, 4 crew members were on board. We know 15 people were hurt. 2 of those passengers or people on board were airlifted to a hospital in critical condition. We also know a child is among the injured, but at this point, no fatalities to report. Pearson Airport in Toronto is closed at the moment. This is causing delays and cancellations. The Transportation Safety Board of Canada, the TSB, will be in charge of this investigation. They're deploying a team to Toronto right now, and they're going to be looking at the flight data from the flight data recorders, also listening to the cockpit voice recorders. We do know there were about 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts at the time, some blowing snow conditions, but still far too early to speculate on a cause. That's going to be up to those investigators. We'll be standing by to see if they provide any updates throughout the evening tonight. Got some more breaking news this evening. A crash landing of a Delta connection flight with 80 people on board. This is stunning pictures here tonight showing that plane flipped upside down. This is at the Toronto Pearson International Airport in Canada.
We're told tonight more than a dozen people were injured. NBC5 investigator Chuck Gowdy working the story for us. He joins us now in studio tonight with much more. Chuck.
Allison, this is the latest in a flurry of aviation accidents, the 4th in North America in a month. Canadian and U.S. air safety investigators converging now on Toronto's Pearson Airport, finding a Delta commuter jet flipped on its topside. And considering the looks of the airfield crash, it may be surprising there are no current deaths reported. There are several serious injuries and more than a few serious questions this afternoon. The plane was coming from Minneapolis with 80 passengers and crew when it landed and came to a rest upside down. The CRJ 900 plane made by Bombardier was operated by Delta Airlines commuter subsidiary Endeavour. The region had just come out of a winter storm, but as this photo from the morning shows, things had brightened, and the video from the airport earlier today shows conditions appearing to be okay, although there were wind gusts of up to 40 miles an hour reported. Weather will be a factor investigators will be checking, along with a full review of air traffic control staffing and operations. Canada has been facing similar tower shortages as in the U.S., and so the midday controller assignments will be evaluated as well by investigators. The first witness interviews just coming in right now.
I was shocked. Like initially, I thought it was some fire or something coming from the snowblower, because yesterday there was a snowblower that was on fire. So we thought it was the same. But when we came here, and then my friend rushed there first, and then he said the CRJ is crashed on the runway.
Canadian air safety authorities will also be looking at the plane's maintenance history and other similar incidents if they exist. This plane is in the same family of Bombardier aircraft as the jetliner involved in last month's fatal mid-air collision with a military helicopter near Washington Reagan Airport. A lot to consider.
Thank you, Chuck. Tonight, the stunning plane crash in Toronto today, where a Delta regional jet crash landed at an airport, ending up upside down, and amazingly, everyone managed to get out.
Amazing when you see the pictures. 18 people were hurt, including a child. Tonight, questions about how this could have happened. Also, growing concerns about aviation safety after several recent accidents. Delta Flight 4819, operated by Endeavour Air, took off from Minneapolis, and while trying to land in Toronto, it flipped over on the runway. NBC5's Randy Gyllenhaal is here and begins our coverage tonight. Randy?
Yeah, so this is why flight attendants prepare the cabin for arrival. This crash landing left the jet belly up in the middle of a snowy runway with passengers suspended, some of them hanging from their seats and having to crawl or even climb to safety.
Everything, drop it. Come on.
Escape from the upside-down airplane. Incredible video from passengers aboard Delta 4819.
Oh my God.
Crash landing at Toronto Pearson, its right wing torn off.
We have a huge emergency on 23. You're not coming out. We just had a crash on runway 23 here.
Yet somehow all 76 passengers and 4 crew survived the impact.
We just landed. Our plane crashed. Most people appear to be okay. We're all getting off.
Airport emergency workers mounted a textbook response, reaching the site within minutes and quickly evacuating the passengers.
The flight from Minneapolis landing in gusty winds and snow. It's a regional jet CRJ 900 used for short-haul flights.
The next thing I saw is basically a plane that the CRJ plane that basically flipped on the runway.
The airport closing multiple runways for ongoing Canadian and American NTSB investigations.
I had a 6:30 flight on Air Canada that moved to 12 midnight.
And the ripple effect at airports like O'Hare. Flights to Toronto canceled or delayed, while flyers on this busy holiday weekend anxious.
You lose confidence in the system.
With 4 major commercial air disasters so far this year.
Now we're having all these plane crash, all these plane incidents.
The weather in Toronto could be key to the investigation, with a crosswind at landing and that wing somehow torn off.
That's what they're going to look at to start with. Where is that wing and how did it leave the airplane?
Well, the FAA is sending investigators up to Canada. That's a country with air traffic as well as safety regulations nearly identical to the United States. Stephen and Allison.
Randy Gyllenhaal with us tonight.
We're also seeing new video this morning of that crash landing of a Delta plane in Toronto, Canada, and remarkably, all 80 people on board survived. A driver, take a look, captured the plane's descent here as the regional jet hit the runway hard. Now you see the flames come out of that plane right before the belly flips over. Now, passengers say they were suspended upside down in their seatbelts. Here's another view of that landing. One man who was in a window seat says he didn't notice anything unusual until the plane hit the ground.
And then all of a sudden, I just remember being fully sideways, and I was looking down and just seeing like sparks and flames and whatever was grinding against the ground. And then, yeah, it happened pretty dang quick, and we were just upside down hanging. People were hanging there for, I can't remember how long, but just about a minute. And then they were like, okay, like, get down. And at that point, people were feeling pretty frantic.
And experts are confirming what we're all thinking, and that the crash could have been much worse. Out of the 76 passengers on board, 18 people were injured, including a child. Today, investigators were out on the runway looking at that damage of the aircraft, and that's now covered in snow. We'll keep an eye on that story all day for you, of course, as we learn more.